Right, this post office scandal, it is nothing to do with left versus right. If anything, this issue should unite all of us against not an ideology or a political thinking, but it's against people who put money above people's lives. Now, I know what you're going to say, capitalism. I am a capitalist. It's a better system for everyone than socialism. But capitalism needs to be regulated, otherwise it gets out of hand. Socialism doesn't let you climb up the ladder and make a better life for yourself, whereas capitalism does, but it needs regulating, and this is what happens. And the post office issue is a perfect example of capitalism, unregulated, getting out of hand. Now, I've watched the Mr. Bates versus the post office drama, and I have to say, my other half, Mrs. 49 and I, we had to switch it off every now and again because we were getting really angry. And there's still loads coming out about this whole mess, and a lot of finger pointing. Now, Paula Venables, the CEO at the time when this all happened, she's handed back her CBE thanks to public pressure. But I don't think that's enough, considering what's happened. People took their own lives, families destroyed, livelihoods taken away, reputations tarnished, people put in jail even. I honestly think there should be reprisals, and I'm talking prison time and asset stripping. Now, people are pointing at the Tories because they were in power at the time. Well, so were Labour, and there were also Liberal Democrat politicians involved. They were all involved across parties. Like I said, this isn't a left versus right thing. Having looked at the whole shenanigans, the television drama, everything on social media, I put it down to the marketing. They brought in people who were qualified and experienced in marketing as CEOs and directors. And so all they did was they protected the brand. And every top company in business, they do this. They don't give a shiny shite about their employees or customers. It's all about the brand. For example, there's a video on YouTube, well, there's a few of them, of the House of Commons Select Committee, and they're grilling current post office CEOs and directors. And nearly all of them had a career in marketing. And the more money these people made for shareholders, the bigger their bonuses were. Which brings me to all the missing money, the money that these postmasters were accused of stealing when they didn't. Where did that money go? Well, it went to profits. And then from profits to dividends, dividends to shareholders, shareholders happy, big bonuses for directors and managers and CEOs. And they all knew about this, and they all allowed it to happen. That's because they were protecting their wages, their money. Well, that's my theory anyway, nothing's confirmed, but to me I think it looks that way. Now, there's been lots of finger pointing, as I said earlier, Ed Davey being one of them because he was the Minister for Postal Affairs who did absolutely nothing and ignored pleas for help while he was there. So, if you ask me, Sir Ed Davey should hand back his knighthood. And reading between the lines on social media and elsewhere, I don't think he's going to be leader of the Lib Dems for any longer. And so, another name that's just been dragged into this whole palaver is Sir Keir Starmer. Now, Sir Keir Starmer, as he likes to remind everyone, he was head of the CPS at the time during the prosecutions. Now, as I said to you in a previous video, and I never knew this, by the way, until this whole thing came out, but the Post Office is able to prosecute, or was able to prosecute, under its own steam. It had the ability to do that, and I think that's been taken away from them now. Because what better way to brush things under the carpet than by holding your own prosecutions? And that's exactly what the Post Office did. Now, Nigel Farage brought this up on X, formerly Twitter, saying that Keir Starmer was head of the CPS while this happened. And people were saying, well, no, the CPS had no involvement. And Keir Starmer stayed silent. Well, it's transpired so far that the CPS actually prosecuted 99 of these sub-postmasters. And out of these 99, they also had a few convictions. So, as we all know, again, Keir Starmer's memory is very selective. And so, because he obviously knows the public outrage over this, he's denied any knowledge. But how the hell can you not know when a large group of people, it's mounting up by the way, at the moment it's just 99, But that's a huge case, even for the CPS, because they were all, after all, being prosecuted for the same crime, false accounting and theft. So I reckon Keir Starmer would have seen this, but why didn't he do anything? Now, I'm not going to suggest anything, but you and I both know, folks, that politicians have their fingers in various pies. But why, out of 700 plus prosecutions, did the CPS only take a fraction? Surely, looking at the numbers, you'd think, my God, this is nationwide. Is it a big criminal ring? Surely all these prosecutions, all these convictions, they're not coincidental. I mean, there's so many questions, isn't there? And after everything they could have done to make this go away and do things right, it's taken a TV series to do this, to fix it. All of a sudden, they can pass a legislation in a day, when it took years, over a decade, for Alan Bates to get any sort of joy out of the whole thing. So there we go. Did Keir Starmer, as head of the CPS, know about this? You bet your bottom dollar he did. Will any of the post office directors and the CEO go to jail and be prosecuted over this? Of course not. Whatever happens, I am just glad that the spotlight is now going on the Child Support Agency, or the Child Maintenance Service. I believe this is a far bigger scandal than the post office one. Many, many fathers killed themselves, sadly. Many, many families have been torn apart. And it's something that needs looking at for a long, long time now. I was a victim of the Child Support Agency. It ruined my life. And I will be talking about it live with Andy the Gabby Cabby, a friend of this channel, soon. So anyway, regarding this post office fiasco, they all knew, they were all complicit. But it shouldn't take public outrage for them to do the right thing. After all, we pay these bastards. And that's that. I'm Paz49. Thanks for listening. And until the next time, Roger Trout.